And we're recording, so morning, whatever it is for time for y'all. Today we're gonna look at trading Ichimoku with binary options. I'm gonna go over real quick the indicator pack I have, but there's a thread that I'll put in the video description that actually does that, so it's gonna be super brief. I'm just gonna, in that video I forgot to mention a couple things on the settings, so I'm gonna cover that real quick. We'll go through each part of Ichi real quick also, and then we'll go into what I look for during a trade, and we'll see if we get any while we're waiting. If we don't get any, like I mentioned before we started recording, I'll cover some things that I look for in spot trades and in or trend trading with binary options. So let's get going. So Ichimoku, pretty simple. I know the little screen that y'all are in for the room, not that big on there, but I'm doing the recording high def, so afterwards it'll be available. Plus, if you looked at the link or you have some charts up, you can follow it. I'm on Euro GBP. It has a label down at the bottom right. Indicators list, what I use two different Ichi indicators. The one that I actually use to draw on the charts is called ZB Cloud Lines. I like it just because it looks a little bit cleaner than any of the other Ichi setups that I've found. Like the default one in MT4 is kind of ugly. So I prefer this one. I actually don't use the one that I'm getting the alerts from. I just have it set not to show, but still do alerts. So for my settings, I'm just using 92652 and true on everything. Color-wise, I'm just going to go down the list. If you want to match them, you can, but just so you know. Let's see, Dodger Blue is Tinkinson or Timmy. If you watch the video, you know why I say Timmy. Medium Orchid or Purple is Kinjinson or Mr. Krabs. The Lime Green is the cloud going up. Tomato is the cloud going down, or Kumo if you want the real name. White is Syncospan, and yellow is just the border on the cloud. I'd put it yellow on both sides. So that covers that one. TLBC OCV02 is the support and resist lines you see here, like H1 support, M30 support, H4 support. Closing candle time, you can't see it, but it's down at the bottom right of my chart. It gives me a countdown in big numbers to when the candle closes. Murray math lines. If I didn't say anything, it's default settings, just so you know. On the TLBC, I turn off for false. I don't want to see M1, and I don't want to see M5. This is an incomplete indicator. It works fine, but I'm trying to do shifts on the labels. I still haven't finished coding it, but you won't have these shifts in there in the version I handed out. But other than that, everything else will be true, except for 5 minute and 1 minute. I don't use 5 minute and 1 minute. Clutters it up too much. Murray Math, you're just going to use 626 and step back at 0. Daily open line, nothing to change except for the color if you want. It's white. The daily open line is this line up here, right here. BO price is the price up at the top right. You can't see it. That's bid plus ask divided by 2. It keeps you in line with what your broker is showing. Below that I have BO binary, bid ask price, bid, same thing as the other one, except for it replaces my price line on my chart. As you can see, the line is in the middle of the candle, not actually where price is, because that lines up with what the brokers show me. Okay, for alerts, I'm using this one. It's Ichimoku MTF Alerts NMC. Now, what I forgot to show in the video that I originally did was I left it at default, which alerts when candle closes, and for binary options, that's useless. Again, 92652 for what's on the chart, it's false, 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 false. I don't want to see it because I'm using ZB clouds. You don't have to use both. You can use this one by itself if you have a slower PC. I don't really think Ichi would slow it down, but just in case, alerts on is true. Alerts on Kumo Cloud Cross. This one for binary options you don't have to use. I have this one turned to true so that I know when the candle comes out of the cloud. That is for trend trading with the trend or for my spot trades. TK Cross I have turned off right now. When I trade strictly Ichi by itself, I have all these turned on. For binary options, let's just cover the two. I have alert on price Kinjin Cross, true, and alerts on current. That means when price hits it, it will alert you. If you leave alerts on current to false, it'll do it on close. Alert message true and alert sound. So for a binary option setup, it's 92652. False across the display. If you're going to use the other indicator, alerts on will be true. Everything will be turned off except alerts on price, Kinjin cross, alert on current, alert messages, alert sound. Everything else false. So that covers that. And the next one, that one you won't need. It just shows your chart down there. If you want it, hit me up. I didn't include it in the pack. It just shows you down here at the bottom right. It shows which chart you're on. I guess it could come in useful because I don't use the mouse. I use my keyboard to switch through charts. There's a video on the forums for that too. Okay, so let's get going. So just on the chart so you can see it, the white line back here, as we saw it, if you hold your mouse over, it'll tell you what it is. That's Chico span. It's 26 periods back from price. Moving down, the purple line is just a basic general description. The purple line, if you want to relate it to anything, it would be a slower moving average. It's not a moving average though. It uses a different formula, but if you want to compare it to anything, it would be considered a slower moving average, so it does give a good support and resist. That's what we're going to be basing our trades off, is this purple line. The blue line is a faster moving average, and for the most part we don't use it too much except to set up the rules for when we take the trades. The forward portion of the cloud is 26 periods forward. We do use that when we're setting up trades. Basically, a green cloud up means momentum up, and a red cloud if it's, let's see, red cloud means momentum down, which you can see very clearly here. Right here, I'm going to zoom in now because we do have, I missed it, but we had a potential setup here. So let's look at the rules. What do we want for rules? Casper, or the white line back here, Cinco span, we can ignore that for now. I will get into later about how I use it with drawing support and resist lines. We want a red cloud going down, which we have here. So that means we have momentum heading south. For a put trade, we want so we want, in the order of colors you want red, purple, blue. So we want a red cloud down, purple, which is the slower moving EMA. We want it, and then we want blue. We want them in that order. We don't want blue above purple. What we're looking for then is price to come back up to the purple line, which is Mr. Krabs, Kinjinsen, whatever you call it. If price hits it, you'll get an alert with the setup that you're using. And then what I do, I don't trade that by itself. Typically, what I look for is another reason, added confluence on it. So right here, we had price break up through it, and Murray Math gives us major support and resistance. Pivot point, best new buy, sell, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care what it is, but we have confluence. So we had two reasons now when price hit this, and this is just a pullback. You can do this with EMAs or whatever. This is just a simple way to do it. What your entry goal would be above the purple line. You want entry above the purple line because price tends to pull to it and then get pushed away over and over. It'll get pulled up to it and then it pushes it away. Does it work every time? No, but that's why we want to use the extra bit of confluence. Other than that, you can have your normal ones like your H4 support, H1, M15, M30. That is the basics of it. So what I would be looking at here, and we can see here, this may or may not work out. For the most part, it does work out pretty well. I get about 70 to 76%, I think, with this. And it's a nice way when you have a trending market to trade. So now, if we look, our entry was above purple, if I would have been here. So anything below this is an ITM. Anything above it, OTM. With your spread, not so much, but that is the basics of it. Very simple system to use. Stick to the rules, which basically the rules are red for a put, and you don't even have to worry about what the hell it is. You want red cloud, purple line, blue line, confluence. When it crosses, you'll get your alert. Look for confluence. The only thing that I'm a little picky about is I do prefer the candle to close close to or above here. Like I said, my entry is going to be here, but I like to see the candle close above it a little bit too. So this one would have been an ITM. Like I said, pretty simple way to trade. We can look at a couple other charts. Here's another example of it. This was Euro. It broke here. We had all kinds of confluence on it, so price was here. Our entry would have been anywhere above where I'm going to draw this line because that matches the purple. So this pink line, entry would have been anywhere above here. You should have been easily, I mean, if you waited to the last second, it was a perfect entry. Not perfect, but a very good entry. So we had purple line hit. Let's look. We have red, purple, blue. So it does meet. The next thing you want to look for, you got your alert, red, purple, blue. That took 3 seconds to see if it was there. Next thing we look for is what's the additional reason. In this case, we had M30. There's something else there because it's a double line. And here, let me just reload the template because it'll reset the lines for me. Okay, so we had a daily D1 support, which was where price stopped. M15 resist and M30 resist. All three were hit. So we had 3 reasons plus the breach of Kingensen or Mr. Krabs to take that trade. Is that going to... Remember, this is a pullback. Does it mean price is going to stop and reverse and go back down? No, we're just looking at a high probability place that price will temporarily pull back or continue back along its way. Any questions or anything so far? Pretty simple. I mean, it's not that difficult. Just stick to the rules. It's alert. Jump to the chart. If it's a red cloud, the next thing you need to see is purple blue. Wait for price to be above purple. Look for confluence. Take the trade. Not that difficult. If you screw it up, there's something wrong. No questions? Nothing? Let's see if we can find anything else. Examples or anything. Here's USD, JPY. Again, same damn thing. As you can see, I mean, it's pretty accurate. It happened here, but there was no confluence. It happened here, no confluence. Would I have taken this trade? No. No confluence on it. We don't have an additional reason for it. Now, if you'd like to look for other reasons, you can. Like, if I had to stretch it by any imagination, I could find a prime number, but a prime number for me is a really weak reason. But other than that, that's your setup you're looking for. What would this have been, though? This was a pass due to lack of confluence. Yes, the trade worked out. If you're more of a high risk, go for it. But for me, I like to have confluence on all my trades. And let's take a look at another. Here we got an upward one, so price has not hit yet. This would have been the closest we got. Wouldn't have gotten an alert off that. So nothing there, but if you're going by the rules for a put, I'm sorry, a call. Man, I am backwards today. I've been saying call on the other one. Whatever. If you're going to take it up, green, purple, blue. So we have everything aligned right now. All we need is a pullback to purple with confluence. Pretty easy. AUD USD is trending pretty good up, though. So let's see if we got anything else. Here's an uglier one. When this hit was right here, so 4 candles ago. I prefer that one's personal for you. For me, a wick really isn't. If the wick touches it, that means the body did. But I really prefer the body to be through it. Depending on previously, if you look at it, because you get a history right here. Let's go back and look at that real quick. Let's see, oversold, oversold. That's none of the alerts I want to show today, so we're going to ignore the alerts I just got. I do prefer the body to be through it. Right here was another setup, just so you can see. Let me zoom in and we'll talk about it real quick. This one was kind of an ugly one. It came back down through, the body closed through it, and this would have been our trade. For me, this is a pass, because even though that's a big move, I got no confluence on it. The red line is price, so no confluence, that would have been a pass. Let's go back and look at some of the other ones, and I'll show you. So you're talking about wicks and bodies. Let me zoom in real quick. I'll make this bigger and make sure you can see it on the chart. Okay, so this one you can't see, but the cloud's green all the way up. I zoomed in a lot. So price came up, And this is kind of an ugly one because green's kind of flat. We want more of a momentum going up, or you can see what happens. Everything kind of dies out. You see how Kijinsen's flat, we get consolidation. But here was our first touch right here on this candle. Come on, you little bastard. Now this was a no trade too because of lack of confluence. That kind of wick I don't mind, but if price shoots down all the way through it, let me see if I can find one that it did it. So far most of these are behaving rather well. Let's see, let me turn off auto scroll and I'll zoom in on this one, because this one is a borderline for me. Let me zoom in, see if I can catch it. That wasn't auto scroll, that was shift. Give me a sec, I'm keep turning on auto scroll. Auto scroll off, there we go. Man, where is it? This is zoomed in quite a bit, but here we go, red cloud. So if we look, purple, blue, none of these are actually too bad. I'm not seeing anything that I would steer away from. It wasn't a huge one. As long as you could get entry above it is really what you're concerned with. What I'm looking at right here is this green candle. The wick came up through it. If I could get entry above the purple line, I'm good. You're not going to know 100% of the time, unless you have a very fast moving candle, which I would tend to stay away from. Then a little bit of price action helps. But for the most part, if the candle is about average size, it's not a huge spike through, and I can get confluence, I'm in on it. It's the abnormal candles when you get one that runs right up through it. The alert will tell you when it touches. So basically, as it touches, that you want to get to the chart as quick as possible because you want to see if price reacts to that level. If it just blows right through it and it pretends like it's not there, that's a pretty good sign that, hey, I don't want to be in that trade. So it's just basic price action on the movement through an area. Price, all we're looking at is that line signifies an area where orders might be sitting. That's why I like to use confluence with it instead of by itself, because that increases the likelihood that we have some orders sitting at that spot. A lot of people use Ichimoku and they place their stop losses using that line. That's why you will see reversals there, because what's typically sitting at that point is a stop loss. So it closes out an order where people either got their profit in a trailing stop loss or a stop loss. But it's just it's a high probability area that there's an order sitting there, and with binary options, it's all you want. You want to try and identify a reliable spot where orders might be. Bots teaches a lot of price action. I teach technical because on my end I think it's easier to learn and then use price action to confirm. But I think technical trading is easier, so you can look on a chart and say, well, if price comes up to here and price action confirms, like it reacts to that technical level, then it's a pretty good indication of a good trade to take. So take it one step further, get some more confluence on it, and you have a nice, easy, reliable way to trade. That explained it a bit. The wicks, I'm concerned about a bit, but not a ton. As long as it's not an abnormal candle, I'm in it with confluence. Any questions or anything on that? I did record this, so if you came in late, I'm posting it up when it's done. All the indicators that I use, the alerts and everything, like I said, they are posted to a thread. It is this thread. It's a nice, easy way to trade. When do I use this the most? I use this mostly Mondays and Fridays. The program, just read through that thread. There's videos in there explaining how to set it up and everything. What I'm using is called Ichimoku. It's a system developed back in the, I want to say the 30s, and went live in the 60s. The guy the whole story's on that thread, the history of it and everything. So if you read through it, you'll have a complete understanding of the system. Other than that, I can dick around for a little bit, wait to see if we get any trades. Like I was saying, Mondays and Fridays are great for the system. Mondays and Fridays, we typically see a trending market. So if I'm a range trader normally, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, I range trade. But if a range is not available, or if I have one pair ranging and the other one's trending, as you can see on my charts, this is my ranging market setup. What's your take on purple and blue on top of each other? Personally, let's say purple and blue are close, like right here. If they are not braiding, just like I have my daughter, so braiding, they're interweaving, they're going in and out, in and out, in and out. If they are braiding, that's a good question, by the way, thanks. If they're braiding, then I steer away from it. If they are not braiding, but they get close, then spread back apart, close and spread back apart, that is fine. But if they're braiding, avoid it. Don't mess with it. Hope that answered that one. No, I forgot what I was going to do. Oh well. Any other questions or anything? Oh, I was explaining. Mondays through Fridays, I trend trade. Well, no, I not that I trend trade Mondays and Fridays. Typically, those are the days when I get more trend trade-ins, trend pullback trades. That's what I do with Itchy plus trend trading. I'm not going to get too much into that. Um, I have two charts open though. I use two different systems. I use this Itchy pullback system for when a market is not ranging and it's trending. And like for instance, here's AUD NZD. This is my Itchy setup, and there's my other setup for if the market's ranging. I keep both charts up. They actually complement each other because this one sometimes you won't notice if it's ranging and there's a trend forming, like a heavy trend. If I jump to here, I see there was an upward trend, but it looks like it's coming down to an end. We just got a TK cross here. TK cross means Tenkan-sen Kinjin cross. It's usually a good indicator that price is going to head south for a little bit that way with what we're looking at now. Even with this cloud, price is probably going to drop for a bit. But they do complement each other, so if you have a ranging system, you can use Ichimoku to complement it to help you figure out when that range is going to break. I use it quite often to predict runs. Let me see if we have anything setting up that might be a possible run. Almost everything's already in it, so probably won't catch it today. I'll have to do another one on a day when we got a range that's going to break. But right now we don't have anything that I can actually go through. I'd prefer to show it live so we can watch it for them. If I see one going, I'll just do a quick video and I'll add it on. But that pretty much covers it, guys. I mean, it's a really simple system. Stick to the rules. Don't break them. Downward trends, you want red, purple, blue. Look for the break. You'll get the alert. When you get the alert, look for confluence. If you have confluence, get your entry above the purple line. And it is the opposite if you're, and that is for a put. For a call, it is the opposite. We want green cloud. Once you get your alert, jump to the chart. The first things you're going to check is green, purple, blue. We do have that on this chart. We haven't had a touch yet, so no alerts. If we did have a touch, we would look for example, and this one wasn't fully qualified, but just in case so you can see it, if price had come to here, we would want entry below it, which it didn't, but we would have also had pivot point reversal major, so that would have been confluence plus an M15 setup. So we would have had a breach of purple, so it's blue, it's green, purple, blue. We would have tried to shoot for entry below purple. In our confluence reasons, we picked up two of them, M15 and pivot reverse major. Remember, as the breach happens, you want to watch for price reacting to these levels. If price just drops straight down through it, that means there's no orders there. That's all we're looking for, is the possibility that's an order there. And again, why does it work? Because purple is normally a stop loss for people who trade this system. So if you can get a stop loss there, plus other people are using like an M15 support or a pivot reversal, like from Murray math lines, we're combining several reasons why there might be a stop loss or an order entry or something like that out there. All we're looking to do is identify where the orders are going to be, use some basic price action skills to see if the candle reacts to them. If it doesn't, don't force a trade just because conditions are met. If price action doesn't tell you there's some orders there, ignore it. I mean, it's I guess common sense that if price doesn't react to the level, there's nothing there. Like right here, this was the daily open. Long story, I'll come back to that one later. This is a trade I would have taken because here was the daily open. But so here we got EUR GBP. I got an alert. You can't see it on there, but let's jump to it real quick. I've been waiting this whole time for an alert. Okay, so this is actually a pretty good one. The cloud is kind of flat, barely curving up. Kinjinsen and Tenkinsen. Kinjin is completely flat. We have no confluence on this. Tenkinsen is angled down. Let me zoom in on it. This would be a pass trade. And I'm going to switch to this so you can see it. Purple, flat. Tenkinsen just came up a little hump and it's heading down. The cloud is flat. This is just this is consolidation. You want to steer away from these. I would have taken this one here because consolidation had not been identified. Actually, this was a pass because lack of confluence. This one, if it had confluence, would have been a trade, but that's because consolidation hadn't been identified yet. But let's look at the with candles. Consolidation, plus look at these movements. That's shit. Even if I cussed crap. Even if I stretch these candles out, and I'm on max zoom stretching these candles out, so this is a 2.5 pip move. 3.5. I mean, these are tiny little moves in consolidation. But what we're looking at here is a flat Mr. Krabs or Kinjinsen and Tenkinsen from this downward angle looks like it might be breaching back down. The green cloud is thinnish and flat. We don't have a big amount of momentum. It looks like it's starting to build a little, but this flat area here is just a no-no for me. So as we can see, it did bounce and it's coming back up, but for me, that's a no trade. You want the confluence to pump up your ITMs. If you traded this just by itself on touches, even though it's reacting nicely here, you can see bounce, bounce, bounce. Your ITM percentage isn't going to hit that 60% mark where you need to break even. Hopefully that sums it up, guys. I was a little bit quicker than I thought. Markets are a little bit flat. US Open will be in 30 minutes. Any questions or anything else? I'm going to post this video up in the forums right below the other ones, so you can always ask questions there. And I'm in this chat room every day, so if you use this, I always have this open too, because I use this on a daily basis to trade with. And hopefully that cleared up any confusion on people, because I saw people taking some with the post that I'd done so far, people were like taking some crazy ass shit. There are other trades available off the cloud, but for now, focus on something that's rule based, because you have to be able to judge your progress by a certain static rule set, so you can see, well, this works. And also, it's a easier way to learn, because if you say, here's what this setup looked like, my rules were met, but it didn't work, like for instance this, I don't take this because it's flat. So just because my rules were met, flat, Tenkinsen's heading back down. Aussie. It's coming down, and I can already see, unless it pops down to here where the M15 is, I won't take it. So that quick. What I do, I jump to the chart, green, purple, blue. Hasn't reached here yet. Once it reaches, if it hits M15 support, I'll be in. We look back a little bit, and it was that quick to make a decision, guys. You can't beat being able to freaking jump to a chart that fast, make a decision, and decide. You'll get used to it. What we have, though, price is riding Tenkinsen, so we know price is up here. If it hits Kinjinsen, and it recognizes that there's something out there. Again, if price action reacts when it hits here or the M15, which, as you can see, it's more or less riding Tenkinsen. It's not really dropping down to it. So, as of right now, this is a no trade. If it drops down and when it breaks through Kinjinsen, hits M15, if I see a reaction to that, I'll be in. If it plows through it like there's nothing there, then I stay out of it. Pretty simple. Any questions other than that? Remember to turn the alert to current. If you don't, you won't get the alert till the candle closes, and everything's pointless. You want to get the alert as it touches it, so you can watch it finish off. So that way you can see if it is reacting to the level. So as soon as you get the alert, you want to jump, because you want to catch being able to watch as much as the candle movement as possible. You can always jump to the 1 minute chart. I'm not going to get into that right now. I wanted to keep this simple to get people started on it. If you take any trades, feel free to post them up. All you have to do is pretty simple. Just draw an arrow where you entered, and below it you can put a little thumbs up or a thumbs down. So if, let's say, this is a good trade, once the trade's marked, just right click, do save as picture. Now this records no identifying information or anything like that, so if anyone out there is paranoid, make sure it is active chart as is. It'll record everything on your screen. Hit OK. You will get the mouse spins for a second, then it opens up a web page. There's the chart. Down at the bottom, you'll have links. It'll say image. I prefer the image one. You just cut and paste the image link. Let me see if I get that on the screen. I'm changing it because, again, I have people on a smaller screen for this. But it'll give you 4 different links. It gives you link to the page, image, HTML, pre-formatted for some forums, and the BB code. So depending on the type of forums you're using, it might have it formatted for you already. But all you have to do then is copy the image and paste it onto the forums. Use the little button to insert picture, paste that link in, and boom, your picture's pasted on the forum. So you can paste up your chart, have other people see it, ask questions about it if it was a good or bad trade, or come to this chat, post that up, and I can click at it and look at it. Makes it pretty simple for review. Cancel. Let me see. Close tabs, you little son of a bitch. EG. Okay, so EG is still what's missing there. Yeah, because I'm getting the alerts on it. What's missing there is the confluence. This candle here, and plus this setup, look at it. Okay, so this is EG. Here was the breach, no confluence, pass. Here's a doji, really ugly one, hammer, whatever the hell you want to call it, shooting star, I don't know. I hate the patterns, so that's why I don't trade them, because they're patterns, and I get confused. This one here, though, it's touching it and it's breaking south, so I'm not touching it. For me, this means it's going to head south some more. There's no confluence, plus it's already done. I don't have gold up, Neil. I ain't touching gold this week. It pissed me off Monday. Anything else, guys? I'm going to stop the recording, but I'll be in the room. I'll leave the charts up top so you can see what I'm doing, but I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now. If there's no more questions. So you can ask questions after the recording, though.